Alright, welcome back everyone. Let's get straight into it. Alright, I'm at 1843 at the moment, almost 1850. Okay, we have e4. Let's play Sicilian like usual. Okay, he plays main line. The usual development. He's an 1826 rated, which is pretty good. That's a solid rating. Okay, so he plays f3 to solidify this pawn. I was considering at this point to maybe go for something like Queen b6, put more pressure on the knight on d4. Also, this pin can be really powerful. And at any point, I can drop my bishop back and put an extra attacker on the knight. So now there's 3 attackers on this knight, and there's also a weak pawn on b2. Knight takes here, I would probably just take this with the bishop and take control of these really weak dark squares, and also threaten to take the knight next move with either queen or pawn. I also have this as an idea as well, so there's a lot of things that seem pretty good in this position. So we'll see. He's thinking for a long time. Knight back here, it doesn't work because I just take the bishop for free, so there's a lot of problems now that he has to face. Maybe he can try a knight here. Okay, so he goes for the idea I mentioned earlier. It's probably the best option in this situation. However, now it's going to be very difficult for him to defend this knight. He can play knight back, but then I probably have bishop check ideas, and he's forced to play king f1. I could even maybe take this, attack the knight. If I take here, it actually may be really good because I'm attacking this rook as well, so he can't easily defend this knight. Something like this doesn't work because I can take the rook with check, and he's forced to play either queen back or knight back. So I think I'm going to go for this pawn because it not just wins me a pawn, it also has really good threats coming. I could have played bishop check, but it would have prevented me from playing this pawn straight away because after king f1, my bishop is still under some pressure. But now he needs to find a move that defends everything, and it doesn't look like there is an easy one. This bishop blocks off any king spaces that he can go to. The queen can't jump to this square. If the rook comes across, I just play take knight for free, and then I'll take this knight as well. If the knight moves out of the way, I'll take this knight. So it's looking really good. So the knight can't jump to here trying to go for here, because after taking the knight, I cover that square. If knight jumps back, I think I just have queen takes knight with check. Then after king across, he's obviously wanting to try and take my bishop. So probably the best way is just to drop my bishop back to d4 and go for this rook. That seems pretty solid. He's getting really low on time as well. Now king up here seems pretty good. I attack the knight, and wherever he goes, if he goes here, I can just take. No, I'm not going to accept that draw. I'm completely winning in this position. I'm +4. Yeah, wherever he takes, I just take back, and I can maybe go to pick up the rook. So that's a really nice first game. Very simple Sicilian. And yeah, it was pretty good. All right. A 1944 rated. Playing the Caracan. Alright, let's see it. Let's go. This is gonna be tough for sure. Definitely not expected to win this one, but we'll see. Alright, let's go for this idea that I always like to do. Where I play bishop check. If knight out here, then I play knight into here. And it seems quite nice actually. Seems like a pretty solid position at this point. And then I just develop my bishop, attack this pawn. After takes, maybe takes, and then I can try and go for this pawn. The queen still defends it though, of course. This is now a pin, so I can try and take advantage of that somehow. This is also another pin, which is gonna trying to think maybe what's the best way to go about doing things in this position. Maybe I can play h4, try and go for h5 ideas. This pin can be really strong, however he can just easily cut off. Let's go for h4. Whatever he does, like these knights are really good for me because they're pinned and it blocks off any sort of attacking ideas. So now I think if I play this, the idea is now he wants to get this in. So if he gets this in, however, I do have f3 and I may just be completely winning after f3. Obviously I can't take with knight because the bishop has a pin on my knight. However, this looks like a really nice grab of space and also sort of maybe gives me a free piece, which is pretty good. 1944 rated, so if I win this one, it will be really good achievement. Alright, so at this point, the idea is he wants to attack this. However, if I take here, he can't take back because my rook then can take his rook. So this is just completely winning at this point. And after recaptures, I can even take with knight. Go for some other ideas. Maybe queen here. Okay, so here he's going for some counterplay. However, I can take this with check and then maybe go for some other ideas. He obviously wants to take this and then after I take back, or he wants to take this, sorry. So if I just take here immediately, there should be no problems here. He can take back with rook and probably win a pawn. But at the current time, I am up an entire piece. So that is definitely worth something. So obviously after queen takes, I cannot play... Actually, I could play bishop back here. Bishop back seems like a good idea now, actually. Because after queen takes here, I can either play knight check and go for the rook, or I can just maybe try and defend my knight and bishop at the same time. I think knight check here is the best possible way. And then take this rook with check. I need to be careful of something like this though, attempting to pick up my rook. So I honestly may consider just giving up this bishop in order to save my rook. However, I may be able to play a move like this. Okay, I need to play a lot faster. A move like this that attacks the queen. And let's play king across. Make sure I continue playing fast. This is going to be a tough one to win for sure. This guy's still playing very good after all. Okay, they gave him a free pawn, but I kind of do want to trade as much as possible, considering my time issues as well. Okay, let's just take there. Let's just defend this pawn. Okay, I slightly misplayed there. Okay. And I got a draw. I don't really know how that was a draw. It wasn't three move repetition, but I think that was definitely an interesting game towards the end. I mean, I think this was like my position was completely winning. Like if we go back a bit, um, in this sort of position, it's just completely winning. I just need to make sure if I had more time, I would keep the bishop, set up take control of the open file, and then obviously I would just be up an entire rook for maybe what 3 pawns. So that was a winning game. It was just unfortunate because I had to spend a lot of time to have that advantage. And a draw is definitely good in that position considering I had what like 8 seconds for his like 30 or something. So that's pretty good to get that draw. All right, let's play Sicilian again. Immediately he plays Queen f3, which doesn't really do anything actually, other than block off his knight a bit. And so in this position, I think I'm just going to. I guess we can do this. If here I just play knight out, and then bishop. If not, then I play bishop immediately and then prepare knight f6, maybe play something like this. Very like normal stuff. Not too different to what is expected. And I think here I just immediately go for an opening of the center. If he pushes, I probably can drop back safely, or I can even play something like this. Maybe this is a good idea. So wherever, if he chooses to like attack it again, like with a move like this, I can just close it up and then fianchetto my bishop this way. Maybe I want to drop my knight back, play knight out here and attack this pawn twice. Let's do this idea actually. It's probably better. Develop my knight and then maybe go for a push pawn idea. Maybe this push pawn. Bishop out can't happen yet because his queen's attacking this g7 pawn. So that's slightly unfortunate. Let's go for this idea. Pretty much forcing a trade. If he doesn't go for that trade, I think taking here is actually quite good for my position. Taking here, and then I can at any time like probably go for something like b4, knight takes, and then take control of these two squares. I can now even play bishop out here. Obviously, still this pawn is under attack, so I need to stop that. Maybe queen here, add an extra attacker onto this e5 pawn. So there's 3 attackers and 2 defenders at the moment. And then so now I can probably go for a knight takes idea. The only problem with knight takes is if he takes back, I will have to take back with queen because if I take back with knight, then there's this slightly annoying pin that he can try and take advantage of. So I think this knight takes is probably slightly better. This knight is slightly more active and there's always options of b4, and if this knight goes here instead, this knight doesn't really do as much. So here I don't think I take with knight, I think I go for queen trade in this position. Also because I'm a pawn up, and then I can attack this bishop with a slight tempo, and then just develop my bishop out as well, castle. And I have the two bishop pairs lining up against the king as well. And it's looking like a really nice position. I just need to play a little faster. So here he went for a pretty bad knight trade, I'm pretty sure. So I'll try and capitalize off that. I'll also just keep playing fast. So let's get my rook across into the play. Threat and checkmate in one. Rook here is probably a decent idea that he can go for. However, I may have pawn push ideas now. So I want to go for this pawn, pin the rook, and then go for this checkmate idea. This doesn't work because I think I can take here and then take here. And then maybe even take this pawn afterwards. And I'm just up a piece now. It's just a matter of converting this. So let's just block this off so there's no threats anymore. Can go for this pawn. Let's get my rook onto the open file. Make sure I don't lose it, so I'll drop my rook across. Let's play king here, maybe pawn here, king here. Some fairly like normal moves at this point. 24 seconds remaining, so we'll see what we can do. Rook check is coming. Ah, rook check. Very nice. Okay, rook check again. Take here, and then bishop check. Win the rook, and then I should be able to finish this off. All right. And so this should be a GG. Good game. I'll just do it this way so it's easier on my time. And a guaranteed checkmate to finish off. Alright, where did we end up? 1855. We're getting there. That's some good games for sure. I think 1-3 and drew one against a 1950 rated, something like that. Yeah. Some fun games for sure. And yeah, some solid chess. Alright, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.